Hi everyone, welcome back to Scented Moments channel. I'm Jolima, hope you're all doing well. In this video I want to share with you some of the most daring fragrances that I wore in the office. I work in a law firm and I'm lucky enough to have wonderful colleagues that allow me to wear all kind of fragrances. They all know that I love fragrances. It's a passion that I have, a beautiful hobby that I have, and actually some of them, they are also slightly going into this hobby, and actually there's one of them, shout outs to you, Joe Maroca. He's already deep in this hobby, I can say. But I have here 7 fragrances. These are all niche, and these are some daring fragrances that I, as a YouTuber, as a reviewer, I would not suggest you as a viewer to wear this in your workplace. So starting off this video with a fragrance from the house of Amouage, and it's the Blue Beast Interlude Man. Now, Interlude Man is one of my favorites from Amouage. This fragrance is one of the best sellers from the brand, so much that now Amouage has 2 flankers of Interlude. You have the Interlude Black Iris, if I'm not mistaken, and you have Interlude 53, which is a higher concentration of the original Interlude, which is already highly concentrated, powerful, and very intense. This is so good. This is so good. So this is all about resins, smoke. This has an overdose of incense. This has oud, benzoin. You have also a hint, well, not a hint, but in the opening you have this spicy oregano right from the opening, and which gives also an herbal nuance in here. Wow, this is out of this world. So it's very smoky. This has like a campfire accord. Oud, benzoin, labdanum. I mean, this is very resinous, very smoky, very intense, very sultry in my opinion, and that's why this is one of the best fragrances from Amouage in my opinion. Now, this having a nickname of Blue Beast, it's because this really lasts and projects like crazy. But actually, when I wore this, of course, I just wore these fragrances in the colder weather. I'm not that insane. And this one was one of them, of course. And actually, I got good feedback. People were saying that it smells nice. I mean, it smells very perfumey, but I never got any negative reaction while wearing Interlude, which was quite surprising. So I just have good things to talk about, not just in terms of the smell itself, because it smells amazing. It's a masterpiece in my opinion, but also in terms of the feedback that I got, it was actually quite pleasant. I was not expecting, so it was nice to hear. So the first one is Amouage Interlude Man, but again, I don't advise you to wear this in your workplace. The next fragrance that I have here is from the house of NISHANE, another fragrance brand that has quite opulent fragrances. This one is definitely one of them. It is PACHULI KOZHA. This one right here. Now, just from the look of the bottle, you already know that this is daring. So this is patchouli, of course. Oh wow. But it has a lot of honey that gives this slightly animalic nuance. You have leather, you have incense, you have black pepper. So this is a very dark, very bold, very outgoing, earthy, leathery, slightly animalic fragrance. And I was a bit heavy on the spray with this one. While in Interlude, actually, I went 3 sprays. Usually with these fragrances that I know that are more daring, I go more easy on the trigger. But this one, actually, I went with either 4 or 5. And this is an extrait de parfum. Not only this lasted me through the entire day and night, but this was quite obnoxious. This fragrance is very obnoxious if you overspray. You can choke yourself and people surrounding you, and actually I got a negative feedback with this one. And the person back then, she said something like, that's way too strong fragrance. It was something like that. I mean, it was not as harsh as I was expecting, but still, I mean, it was not in a good way. So this one I still do like. Actually, I love all of these fragrances. That's why I have them in the first place. These are some of the most daring fragrances that I have, not only just in terms of the smell itself, but only in terms of the performance. These all project and last for a very long time. PACHULI KOZHA, it's quite underrated from the house of NISHANE, but it's still so good. This is so good. If you like if you want a more daring patchouli, I think this is definitely a must try. This is like let's say, a more, I will not say daring, but this goes in the same realm of Black Afgano and Laudano Nero from Tiziana Terenzi. This goes in that territory of fragrances, so just by this description you can see how daring this is, but highly advise you to check this one out if you have yet to. NISHANE has some incredible hidden gems. Actually, I need to bring this one to light when it gets colder, because it definitely needs more attention. So from the house of NISHANE is PACHULI KOZHA. Next fragrance that I have here is from the house of Rania J, and it is Ambre Loup. This one right here, I mean, just look at the color of the liquid inside. I really love Rania J. Another fragrance house that definitely needs more attention. I already have 4 of her fragrances. This one, I think it's the most well-known, Ambre Loup. And Ambre Loup is one of the best amber fragrances out there. But this is very daring. This is all about amber, but it's very resinous and sticky and gooey, and it's again way too strong for the work scenario. This is very balsamic as well, so this is a very resinous, sticky, a bit sweet amber with lots of balsamic nuances, with pyrobalsam and tolu balsam, have tonka bean, and you have, although it's not featured, has an official note, but it comes across, has also like a woodsy nuance in here as well. So this fragrance is very daring and bold, but it's so sensual. For me, this is very sensual. It's very dark, opulent, but it's very sensual. The sweet balsamic nuances creates a very mysterious and a very sensual nuance to this fragrance. I absolutely love this, but well, I don't advise you to wear this in a meeting like I did. and this was another fragrance that I was a bit hard in the sprays. I went heavy on the sprays, and yeah, I literally choke everyone in that meeting. But everyone was, again, very respectful, but you can literally see the disgusted faces that they were trying to not do, but they were definitely doing. That was hilarious back then, and I literally was forced to open the window. So yeah, that was intense. But this one here is a high quality amber, one of the best ambers ever created, and I highly advise you to check this one out if you love ambers. This is definitely a must-have. So from Rania J is Ambre Loup. The next fragrance that I have here is from house of Profumum Roma, and this is an outstanding amber, another amber, and it is Ambra Aurea. This is my favorite amber. This is magical. This is, oh wow, this is intoxicating. This is, I never get tired of this scent. Man, this is so good. This is ambergris with amber, and boy, this is incredible. So you have the salty, buttery nuances of the ambergris with the resinous, sticky characteristics of the amber with the labdanum and with the vanilla. Outstanding scent. This is so good. But this is one of the most powerful, one of the most intense, and with it's one of the fragrances that have one of the best performers of Profumum Roma. Although a lot of Profumum Roma fragrances project and last for a very long time, but this one, I mean, you can choke yourself. It's another fragrance that you can choke yourself if you overspray. For me, that doesn't happen because I absolutely love the scent. I could bathe in this fragrance. I would not choke myself. I would not get tired of this fragrance. I absolutely love this. This is one of my all-time favorites. But when I wore this, I received actually a negative feedback when I was in the bus. This was pre-COVID, actually. Actually, all of these episodes that I'm telling you was everything was pre-COVID. And here, when I was in the bus on my way to the firm, and there was this lady that she literally, she was close to me. She got up, she exited the bus, and she said, "Someone here just took a bath in perfume, and it smells nasty." And yeah, that was quite lovely to hear. But I still love this. I still love this nonetheless. That was the only negative feedback that I got. As for the rest of the day, and every time I wear this, I never got any negative feedback actually. Not positive, it was just okay. But that was the most embarrassing, I would say, and at the same time hilarious situation that happened with me when I was wearing Ambra Aurea. I still absolutely love this. This is magic in a bottle. The way that this amber is created is simply out of this world. It's another fragrance that you need to try, especially if you love amber fragrances. So from the house of Profumum Roma, which is my favorite niche house, is Ambra Aurea. The next fragrance that I have here that I wore at the office was from the house of Guerlain, from the Les Absolus d'Orient, and it is Cuir Intense. This one right here. This is one of my favorite leather fragrances. This is pure terry leather with a hint. I don't know if I don't remember the note breakdown, but I think this also has osmanthus, which has like this fruity floral nuance as well, and it has a slight similarity with Encens Mythique, actually from the same line and from the same brand, of course. Oh, but this is powerful. This is all about leather. This is an overdose of this terry leather. So realistic, and that's why I absolutely love this. This was love at first sniff for me, and I love leather fragrances, and this is one of the most realistic leather fragrances that I have, but it's very intense and opulent and sultry, daring leather with this fruity floral nuance and with a hint of Encens Mythique. You know, that it has that incense that it's not incense from Encens Mythique, that a cord of incense. It's also hidden in here. Absolutely love this, but yes, I would not advise you to wear this in your workplace because this is loud. I absolutely love this. This is one of the best leather fragrances that I experienced so far, but it's still too loud. It still can be too obnoxious for a work environment. Nonetheless, highly advise you to check this one out. I didn't receive any negative feedback actually, nor positive, but I thought, or maybe people were just trying to be nice, which I think it was what happened with all these fragrances. But well, nonetheless, I highly advise you to check this one out if you love leather. This is Cuir Intense from Guerlain. The next fragrance that I wore, it's from the house of Tiziana Terenzi, and it is Ursa. This one right here. Now, Ursa, it's daring, but it's so good. Wow. But it's not for a work environment, not for an office environment, because this is boozy. You have rum, you have patchouli, you have fig, you have oud, you have leather. I mean, all the dark opulent, you have castoreum, so all the dark opulent notes are here. This is similar to By Kilian Straight to Heaven. I prefer this because it has body and it has character and it has intensity. And this is an extrait de parfum. I absolutely love this. A great patchouli scent, boozy patchouli with leather, with castoreum, with oud. This is some powerful stuff, very dark fragrance. But again, never got any negative feedback. Positive, I don't remember actually. But that definitely didn't got any negative reaction. But again, I think people were just trying to be nice. But I highly advise you to check Ursa from Tiziana Terenzi. Tiziana Terenzi, it's a fragrance house, an Italian fragrance house that I don't talk about that much, but definitely has some hidden gems. I had 4 fragrances from Tiziana Terenzi, and although the majority of their fragrances, you can see the inspiration with other fragrances. For example, this one, you can see the inspiration in By Kilian Straight to Heaven, but you also have, for example, Odano Nero, which is in the same realm of Black Afghano, so they don't have the most unique fragrances out there, not at all, but they still had something different. They add their own twists, and for that I think they are worth checking out, at least some of the fragrances. This one is definitely one of them. Tiziana Terenzi Ursa is fantastic, and I actually feel that this is quite seductive, but you need to go easy on the trigger. So again, it's Ursa. And last but definitely not least, this is the most powerful fragrance that I have here, that I will talk about in this video, and this is one of the best performers out of all of my collection. This is intense. You will not feel just 1 or 2, you will feel 3 or 4 rooms even. This is from the house of Baruti, and it is Perverso. This one right here, and I already did a review of this beautiful fragrance. This is a delicious, nutty, boozy, gourmand fragrance. This is all about roasted nuts with rum, with coffee, with cacao, and it's very smoky. Wow, this is so good. One time I wore this in the night out, and I was in the bar. Of course, this again all pre-COVID. Unfortunately, nowadays we can't afford, at least here in Portugal, to even go out in the night out, to go to a bar and stay there all night. That's unthinkable today. But back then, I was at the bar, and the bartender. So I was in one side of the bar, and the bartender was the exact opposite, far away, and he was smelling me. He was saying, and he knew that I was into fragrances, and he said like, wow, I can smell that fragrance, what are you wearing? So that was crazy, and the bar was full of people. So yeah, so just to let you know how powerful this is. Imagine like a more daring, a more strong version of By the Fireplace from Maison Margiela, which I also have, but Maison Margiela By the Fireplace, it's more cozy, more warm. This one is daring, it's outgoing, it's literally, you will intoxicate everyone around you, but I love that. I absolutely love this one. Of course, you need to be in the mood to wear this fragrance, but I absolutely love this. But again, it's another fragrance that I will not advise you to wear in a work scenario. Oh, but this is delicious. Boozy, nutty, smoky, with cacao and a hint of coffee. It's delicious. Absolutely love this. Baruti, it's another fragrance house that it's very underrated. I already talked about his fragrances. I have 4 of them already, and I hope to add a couple of more soon, because Baruti, it's a fragrance house. It's located in the Netherlands, and these are all extraits de parfum. This is a 30 ml, and it's all you need. And I have this, I don't know, for a couple of years already when this was first released, and look, it's almost full, and I already wore this, but again, you don't need to go heavy on the trigger. On the contrary, so this is a fragrance that I highly advise you to try if you like gourmand fragrances and if you like daring fragrances. This is definitely one you must check out, just like all Baruti fragrances. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments down below what was your most daring fragrance or fragrances that you wore in your workplace. Did you get any bad feedback or not? Tell me everything in the comments down below, guys. See you in the next video. Take care. Ciao.